Hi Sam, thanks for your time. Have you, as a player that's played at the Principality Stadium before, had to explain to some of the players that haven't even played in Europe what it will be like tomorrow with a full crowd?
Yeah, that's something for us as more experienced players, people that have been here before. It's one of the things we've tried to explain, but sometimes you just got to experience it before you actually really understand what it's like. And it's an awesome atmosphere. I think it's one of those things as a player. It's one of the most special stadiums to play at, especially during the anthems, and the Welsh all can sing, and they definitely get up there and back themselves, and it's pretty cool when you hear 70-odd thousand Welsh people singing at the top of their lungs.
And I believe by my count it's your 10th meeting or 10th game you've played against Alun Wyn Jones. He plays his 149th and takes Richie McCaw's national record. Just a word on him and his impact for the teams he's played for.
Yeah, I've played against Alun Wyn a number of times here, as against Wales, but also during the Lions series too. Awesome man, awesome bloke. So just really pumped for him to get to 149. Obviously, he'd be trying to get through the game to get to that 150, but I'm sure he'll be focusing on this game first without looking too far ahead. He's a real competitor, and it's great to be out there playing against him. Normally brings a bit of chat during the game, but then afterwards it's always good to share a cold beer with him too.
Thank you.
Cool. Julian, would you like to jump in next?
Hello, Sam. It's an awful long time since New Zealand have lost to Wales. What does that record mean to you in terms of tomorrow's match?
Yeah, it is a long time since that happened in 1953. It's something the team is aware of, but it's something that we're aware of it, but it doesn't actually drive us. We know that we've got to go out there and play this team. The history that's come before us and that we're trying to create now is the most important thing for us, and it's actually pretty easy. We go back to the process of how we're trying to prepare this week, and every time that I've been here and every time that I've played Wales, it's been challenging, no matter what the team has been before, or what the how both teams are playing, what the form is. So I'm preparing for a big game out there, and I'm sure they are, and I know our boys are as well.
And obviously, it's a very new-look Wales side because of they've got a lot of injuries and these games being played outside of the window. What do you make of the team they've picked?
I don't think it affects the team at all. I think you give any Welshman a Welsh jersey, they're going to go out there and they're going to do everything they can to play well. So for me, I'm not preparing any different to what it would be if it was a week later or etc.
Thank you.
Cool. Katie, would you like to jump in now? Katie Sands?
Yes, please. Hi, Sam. Hope you're well. Katie here from Wales Online.
Cool, thank you.
You spoke... Good. You spoke there a little bit about Alun Wyn Jones. He normally brings a bit of chat on the field. Can you give us any examples of, of any of the kind of words he's thrown at you in the past?
I won't give you a word by word. I'll probably get in trouble from Joe Locke, our media manager. But it's always good. We get out there, and I think it's one of those things. You're always out there to do your best, but you got to enjoy it. And I think that's what Alun Wyn always does. He enjoys it. Enjoys having a bit of banter with the referee and obviously the other captain as well. So sometimes it's half-hearted, just a bit of fun, and it's actually really nice. The takes sometimes the edge off it, and it actually allows players to play better, and sometimes allows him to get in the refs' good books. So I'm sure there'll be a bit of that friendly banter going out there tomorrow.
And would you say the Principality Stadium, is that maybe the best or your favourite stadium to play at away from home?
Yeah, definitely away from home. Every stadium is different, and the fans are different, and I think here it's so cool because there is that strong connection between Wales and New Zealand, both smaller countries in population size, but both are just so passionate around rugby, and I think that's why the Welsh and All Blacks history is so rich, and there's been some awesome games, some awesome tries scored. So I think that's probably the reason that I love coming here and playing.
And Gareth Anscombe, then, he's obviously from New Zealand, born in New Zealand, but obviously able to represent Wales through family. It's his first international game in more than 2 years. So have you been maybe studying any of his previous games, or getting up to speed with what he's been doing since he's been back?
Yeah, a few of the boys played with him in New Zealand and know him pretty well, going through the age group sides with him, and then obviously Super Rugby as well. So they know him probably better than most people would. It wouldn't matter how many times you studied film, looked at how he wants to play the game. So it's been really good having inside knowledge like that. But also vice versa, they're looking at us too. So we've got to worry about ourselves first, and then if we get an opportunity to put him or any of the Welsh team under pressure, that's something that we've got to do and make sure we do that without compromising our own game and the way we want to play.
Great, thank you very much. Hope
Awesome.
you enjoy tomorrow.
Cheers, thank you.
Jamie Wall, jump in.
Thanks, Joe. Hey, Samuel.
Hello, how are you?
Just a quick one, just following on from Katie's question about Gareth Anscombe. Same question about Johnny McNichol. What do you remember about him, and what are you expecting out of him tomorrow?
Yeah, so I played with Johnny, Canterbury and the Crusaders. Johnny and Cody Taylor are very good friends. They played at the Sydenham club together. So it's pretty awesome when you get out there and you get to play for your country, and Johnny gets to play for Wales against his country of birth. So it's pretty cool when you get to do that on the big international stage in front of so many people. And I'm sure there'll be heaps of people at home that'll be taking pride out of what he's achieved while coming over here, because he's done an outstanding job, and I'm sure he'll be keen to put his best foot forward.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Sav, jump in.
Sam, good morning. Excuse the Saturday morning look. You've been to Cardiff a number of times, World Cup, Wales games, obviously. How different is it this time round? You guys normally have your regular haunts you go to in cities. Is it quite different this time?
Yeah, it is different, but it is still a really nice place to visit. It's a place that we love to get out and about on the days off and interact with the local people and the fans that are so passionate around rugby and the All Blacks. It is a little bit weird, I suppose, and it's something that I suppose in time will become the norm, but you're talking to people and you're trying to keep those 2 or 3 metres away because we're still in those bubble protocols. But it is still cool getting that opportunity to interact with the Welsh people that are just so passionate about rugby. You can see it when they wait outside for us to leave the hotel to get onto the bus to go to training. And I just think it just shows that rugby is alive in this country, and they're just really passionate around us as a team, but also their home team. So I'm sure there'll be a few beers drunk in that stadium, and they'll be singing as loud as they can. And it's just, I think everyone's excited by the atmosphere that's building already. Even though we can't get out and about, we can definitely feel it while we're here in the hotel.
And I'm sure the pubs will do well tomorrow. They've got a New Zealand coach, obviously, so and Wayne has tried to play a bit more expensive football since he's been in charge of Wales. So what are you expecting tomorrow?
I think you're spot on. I think they have played a little bit more expensive. They obviously love holding the ball, and they can challenge teams with putting you under pressure if you give away silly penalties and ill discipline. But if you look at the Six Nations as well, they do have a strong type 5. They know how to control a game through hiding the ball away from you. So they're a team that can play both scenarios. They can play expansive and they can play really tight. So that's going to be our challenge, especially for myself as a tight forward, making sure that they don't get dominance up front, and then hopefully that allows us to impose ourselves on them versus them doing it to us.
Just last one quickly on the anthems. You obviously do your anthem and then you wait for the Welsh one. Do you actually hear that atmosphere, or are you zoned in thinking about the game itself, or do you take a moment to soak up what is just a fantastic atmosphere? Yeah,
I think everyone's different. Some people are just thinking about their next job, whether that's the haka or in game. For myself, I've got to absorb it. I've got to listen to it and actually take it in for what it is. It is an amazing thing. I'd be disappointed in myself if I didn't enjoy some of these amazing things we get to experience as All Blacks playing away from home. Normally with a few supporters. I'm sure there'll be a few that have made the trip from New Zealand that'll be here, whether they're over here on the OEs or they're living here permanently now. It's awesome when you do see those Kiwi fans in the crowd with the All Blacks jersey on, and it is one of those things you just got to absorb the atmosphere and enjoy it, because it is very, very special.
Thanks, mate. Go well.
Cheers, thank you.
Cool. Chris Reeve, you're next.
G'day, Sam.
Hey, mate.
Sort of looking back on last week, how was the body after the USA game, and how did you find that quick turnaround of basically just jumping straight on the flight and getting over to Wales as quickly as possible?
Yeah, totally different to what we traditionally do as a team, but as Fozzie and a lot of the guys have said this year, this tour is like no other. It's different. We've got to adapt and adjust and evolve as we go, and there was a prime example playing a game. It was weird putting your bags on the truck to go to the airport before we even got to the game, but there was something that we knew about it. We had time to prepare for it, and I actually really enjoyed it. I know that I was pretty tired and pretty sore the next day just from being on a plane, mask on for 24 hours to get here, but that's just what's expected for us as rugby players, and that's something that we have to deal with.
Do you think they might try and put flights that close to games in the future, knowing that it's worked all right this time around?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if that's a viable option, but I think if you look at all the other teams and sports around the world, if there is an option to get you out of a city and then get you to the next location, which aids with recovery, preparation, all those things, I think would be silly not to look at it.
Just on the game itself, you get to line up with Brodie Retallick again this weekend. Can you just talk a little bit about your history playing alongside Brodie and what it's like out there?
Yeah, it's great having Guzzler out there. He obviously world-class athlete, knows his game really well, and hopefully we make each other better when we get out there. And it's great. It takes time to build trust with people and people that you play alongside, and I feel like we've definitely got that trust, and it definitely helps. You can worry about your own things rather than worrying about someone else, and he normally plays to a really high quality, and hopefully I do the same.